Have you experienced the awesome power of the Panasonic Real 3DO system? Obviously.
Presenting 3DO, the most advanced home gaming system in the universe. It's time to put away your toys.
3DO from Panasonic, Gold Star, and Creative Labs. A new low price and free games.
Mind-blowing graphics of Panasonic Real 3DO.
3DO.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 3DO Experience, the 3DO retrospective podcast, where we talk about all things 3DO, the company, the console, and everything in between. I am Bill, and this is Thrak. How you doing, Thrak?
I am feeling holly and jolly because it is the holiday season. How are you, Bill?
I'm doing all right. I'm almost out of work, about to go on a week-long vacation, so pretty excited for that.
He's going to be even more under a rock than he normally is, folks.
Probably. No, it'll be nice. I'm planning a few things. I'm going to go up and see the parents for Christmas, but other than that, mostly going to be just kicking back and catching up on sleep and all that fun stuff.
Might actually play some games.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I mean, we're recording our big GNC finale this weekend, so I can actually do stuff other than watch anime this going forward after that.
I feel like you're burnt out on the anime after this year.
Well, because we decided to make it a fucking challenge this year for some reason. And
Alex needed something to do. I think that's what it was.
Fucking Alex and Matt fucking took it to an extreme. I'm over here I'm happy I made it to where I did. And then
and you can put a 0 in my name. Didn't watch a single fucking one.
That's fair. I don't think our guest for that episode is a Slade. I don't think he didn't watch much this year at all either, but he also had the benefit of he got married. So
how dare he actually do, non-anime things like marry a human?
How dare he have a life?
Anyways. Not just want to fuck weird titted anime girls.
Why not both? Anyways,
I don't think they're real, dog. I'm just saying.
Oh, don't tell the anime fans that. You're gonna ruin their day.
For some reason, I stumbled upon another goddamn video about some person trying to do the whole Gooner game thing, where they're like, "What's wrong with me just wanting women to present in a more feminine way?" And it's like, that's not the fucking issue here. Damn it, you're making false equivalences.
Yeah,
but. I made it 5 minutes into that video before I was like, no, I can't because I'm just hearing the same talking points, and they're just trying to straw man the other side of the argument, which is I don't fucking care. It's just I hate when these people. It's like they're equating to the games that they buy and consume are based purely on how attractive they find the female characters in the game. It's like that's the sole thing you're buying a game for. The rest of it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I never get that article too, because they always act like it's all games now or like that, and I'm like, not really. I mean,
and the women that they say are unattractive every time, I just go, but they're not.
Yeah, I know.
Is your definition of beauty that narrow? Come on. Come on.
Some people, man, I couldn't tell you.
I don't understand, but we don't need to keep doing this. But yeah. So before we get into our game for this week, we will be covering the news. We did have the Game Awards last week, so we'll probably just talk about the highlights from that. But beforehand, there were a couple of headlines that happened before that.
I will say before we jump into that, if you would like to see our full reaction, you can find the live stream over on the Press B to Cancel channel.
Oh, yes. Yeah, me, Bill, and Jake watched the entire thing and reacted the whole time to it. So that was fun.
Yeah, our yearly riff track of the Game Awards.
This
time it's recorded so everyone can see.
Yeah. But we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, let's just knock through a couple of quick ones. First, the co-founder of Sucker Punch, Brian Fleming, is leaving the studio. It's now going to be run by Jason Connell and Adrian Bentley. It just says, he's leaving. I don't think he really says why. It could just be a case of he just wants to move on, or maybe it doesn't really specify if it's he's going to be making a new studio or if he's just retiring from the industry in general or whatever. But
I wonder if it's kind of like how Ted Price retired from Insomniac recently.
Yeah, it could be similar to that.
A lot of people forgot about that. I was like, oh yeah.
It could be a sign of like maybe that maybe they're seeing the future of what Sony is looking at as far as first party stuff, and they're just going, nah, I'm out. Or it could just be something else entirely. Maybe he's just I'm ready to take a break.
He's been there forever. It might just honestly be he's just retiring, but
yeah, it could just be that. So
I mean that studio is in pretty good hands regardless. They're like the one Sony studio that doesn't have any misses right now. So
yeah. I'm just waiting on Sly 5. But speaking of misses, Marathon has come back. Bungie has come out of the woodwork to say, like, guys, we were still working on it. We haven't stopped. They announced that it's going to be releasing in March for PS5, Xbox, and PC, and it's going to be $40. According to Bungie, Marathon will feature no pay-to-win mechanics. We'll have access to all gameplay updates with an additional reward pass that won't expire. And I think they also said that they have gotten rid of all of that stolen artwork or AI, whatever bullshit that was in there before. So it sounds like they, kind of went back and fixed the things that they needed to fix that people were not a fan of. But is it going to be enough to actually save this game? Because I think people had issues with it before we found out what we found out about it.
I'll have to see it in action, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm genuinely not that interested in it. I've never really played a Marathon game, so...
Well, the original Marathon games were just Apple Doom clones.
Yeah. I mean, those sound interesting at least.
Apparently they were fairly
some
good.
Of them have gotten... I think some of them have gotten re-releases recently.
I'd have to look into that, because I've actually been curious to play Marathon, because it's like one of the few, I guess, worthwhile games to play on the Pippin, if you ever get one of those.
No one needs to get a Pippin.
No, you really don't. They're expensive as fuck. That's all.
Yeah, you could probably just find that game on like My Abandonware if you're that interested.
Probably.
Or maybe it's on GOG. It's probably on GOG, honestly. So just go there. Ubisoft is acquiring the team behind acquiring Amazon Games Montreal, which apparently the original creative director of Rainbow Six Siege left Ubisoft to work there. And now he's like, fuck, they pulled me back in. No terms of the deal has been disclosed, but this move sees Ubisoft obtain the rights for the upcoming MOBA game March of Giants, which I guess they've been working on. I find it interesting that Ubisoft is acquiring a small little team, considering what we've been hearing about Ubisoft recently with this. Could they go private? Could they not? They're kind of in this weird, this weird 6-7 thing where they don't know what's going on. So I just find it weird that they would just acquire this random Amazon dev team that's just making a MOBA that is anybody going to play? I'm not in the MOBA scene, so I'm not aware.
Ubisoft right now really reminds me a lot of like Interplay, like back in the day, where it's like they seem like they're always in a crisis, but yet they're sticking around. They're still somehow here.
I think as long as like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and all of those more notable Ubisoft, like a Rayman here and there, a Prince of Persia here, as long as like their main IP, even the Tom Clancy stuff, as long as that stuff is still releasing and still doing well, they'll probably be fine. So at least like unlike Interplay, they have more money wells to pull from.
Yeah, Interplay sold all their shit off, and then we were like, crap, what do we do?
Yeah. I don't see like Ubisoft selling like Far Cry off to another dev. That would be insane. You know what I mean? So
nothing will ever be Interplay selling off Fallout, then be like, well, we can still make Fallout. It's like, that's not how that works, guys.
Yeah. If you guys don't know that story, look it up. It's really funny. But this is not funny. So the creator of the Katamari series, Kita Takahashi, apparently he has returned to Japan due to disappointing sales of his most recent original game and has suggested that his future as a game designer is unclear. Now, earlier this year, he put out a game called To a T, which I did play. Actually beat the whole thing, and even my son played a good bit of it. He really liked it as well, where you're this boy, you're T-posing as just like a little boy, and that's your life. And you have to like sort of maneuver around as just like a walking T, and you know, fun, cute things happen, and some weird stuff happens. It's very Takahashi. Like, it very much fits in his style. But he left Namco in the early 2000s, I believe, after because Katamari Damacy was a huge hit, and he didn't want to make a sequel originally, but Namco were like, no, we need to do one. We have something here. And so they made him do We Love Katamari, which...
And he made the entire plot, like, self-aware of the fact that he wanted to make a sequel.
Yeah, it's self-aware in that way. It's commenting on, like, the fan base that it had created and everything, and how he was very appreciative of the people who really liked it, though. It's a weird thing where it's like he's appreciative of the success, but he also hates it. It's kind of like that weird middle ground that I think some creatives find. And in some ways, it's better than the first game as well. But he left there, formed a small little company to make a bunch of random kind of art games. But then he started working with Annapurna. And I guess, you know, those things just haven't sold very well, which is a shame. But these days it's such a saturated market, the video game industry these days, that it's harder and harder to make money off of those games. You would think there'd be a larger fan base because, you know, more and more people are playing than ever before, but you know, we all talk about having a bajillion games to play.
That's the thing. Like, there is so much stuff out there now. Like, I guarantee a lot of people probably didn't even know that game existed.
Yeah, I played it because it came out on Game Pass. So that's kind of what sparked my interest, in seeing his name attached to it. I was like, oh, I want to play it. I want to see what weird ideas he has. And I do like the game, you know, and I think more people should play it because it's an interesting, it's definitely targeted more towards like younger kids.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not like super challenging or anything. It's very quirky. And it almost has the vibe of like a children's TV show with some of like the humor, and there's like songs that play between every chapter, but it's like the same song, and it has like a really nice message in it as well, like about how embracing your, you know, differences, you know, embracing what makes you different as opposed to what makes you the same, I guess. But in this interview that, you know, where he talks about it and all that, somebody asked him about the Katamari series, and he said he would love to come back and work on it, because he says he has some new ideas for some Katamari games in the future. And with Namco basically reviving the series now, because that new one came out earlier this year. Was it back in November? Was it? Well, they remade the first two, but then they made up a straight up new one.
Did they? I missed that entirely.
Yeah. Oh, we talked about it on the show.
I already forgot about it, apparently.
To be fair, I don't remember the name of it, but I know.
Well, they have the dumbest names for those games.
It's Once Upon a Katamari.
Okay.
That came out in October, and I heard people really liked it. I've been meaning to get around to it. It's just, you know, as I said before, there's a bajillion games, right? But I did play the reroll of Damacy and We Love, which were both fantastic. So I recommend those wholeheartedly. And that says to me that Namco believes in the IP again to do things. But the main issue with the Katamari series, as much as I love those games, if you really think about it, there's only so much you can do with that IP. But the creator of it, he is such a creative guy. You know, if you've seen some of the other stuff he's done since then, that if he, you know, has ideas for new games, if I were Namco, I would be giving him a phone call and say, like, hey, you're in the area. Like, what ideas do you have? You know, because I would love to see him maybe do some fresh things with that game. Go back to the series that kind of made him famous and reinvent that wheel, reinvent that Katamari, as it were.
Yeah, because I remember, like, with, like, Beautiful Katamari and Katamari Forever, they were fun games, but, like, they did not have the same charm that the first two had.
Yeah. I've played some of the post Katamari games of the first two. And yeah, they're good. I still love the gameplay loop of it, but you can tell they feel more by the numbers, whereas the first two have that real fresh energy to them,
It also did that classic thing where the first two games were primarily PlayStation 2 games, and then they released the third game on the 360, and all the fans were like, what the hell? And then they immediately went back to PlayStation and just completely...
Well, apparently that actually Beautiful Katamari was being made for the PS3 and the Wii at the same time, but they were having issue. They wanted to make a Katamari game for the Wii, but they couldn't figure out how to make one that utilized the motion controls. So that's why one never came out. And Beautiful Katamari was early in the PS3's life, and I believe they had said it didn't come out on PS3 because of the complications of the cell processor that have been well documented. Yeah. So I think that's why it became a 360 exclusive. It was kind of just by osmosis.
Yeah,
really.
It was
it
also
kind of became one. But when we got, I think it was Katamari Forever, like 2 years later on PS3, that brought in I don't think it has all the Beautiful Katamari levels, but it has like most of them.
Yeah, it does.
New stuff and even stuff from the PS2 games as well. So PS3 fans, they got their due. They just had to wait a little bit.
Also, like, Beautiful Katamari is a good-looking game, but it is also one of those very early 360 games where you're like, yeah, this is still last gen, basically.
Yeah, and my biggest issue with it is it's very short. Like, you can beat it in like 4, maybe 5 hours. And the PS2 Katamari games, I think they're about 6 to 8 each. Something so they're like a little bit longer. So, but I still liked Beautiful Katamari for what it was.
It's a good game.
So, yeah, and I have the Vita. I have the Vita one. I've been meaning to
touch my Katamari.
I've been really wanting to play that one. I just haven't gotten around to it.
That's the one I don't remember if it's good or not. I just remember it exists.
So, but hopefully hopefully Namco is they read that interview and go, yeah, just give him a call. Let's see what he's doing. Maybe we'll bring him in. I think that would be neat. I think a lot more people would be interested in a new Katamari game if he was involved. I do. I think they would get more sales out of it.
Probably.
Let's see. And our last thing before the Game Awards, apparently the largest ever game of Tetris was held this weekend, thanks to more than 2,000 synchronized drones in the Dubai skyline. I guess it was part of the Red Bull Tetris World Final. So I guess they were just holding some professional Tetris thing, and then they posted the video of it where, it looks pretty neat. It's always cool to see people do weird, wacky things with Tetris. So
yeah, I don't know what's more unsurprising there, the fact that there is a giant Tetris tournament or the fact that Red Bull sponsors it.
Well, apparently there's like a whole Red Bull gaming thing. Apparently. Like,
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but it's their inaugural Red Bull Tetris World Final. It took place between December 11th and the 13th. Had an orchestra performance, fan experiences. Do you think Pajitnov came out and shook hands with people? Maybe he did.
Maybe. I don't know.
No. It's a little gross. It's in Dubai, but what it is
these days.
Exactly, it is what it is. But that's still cool. It's always cool to see that Tetris it'll never go away. It's
it's a timeless game.
Exactly. So, but now that leads us into the Game Awards. So, but before we get into like the reveals that we really liked, I guess we can get into our overall thoughts on the show.
Did you hear about Expedition 33? I think it did kind of well from what I heard. I mean,
well, I think the number at the end equates to how many awards it got.
Yeah. I nothing against that game because I still have yet to play it, but I just thought it was so funny, the amount of things.
I think when we were watching it, I think I had said that all of the awards that it's getting is going to create discourse online.
Oh yeah.
And I was dead on. Shocker, right? And it did create some discourse, which was interesting to read through and kind of see the varying opinions of. And I'm coming at it from somebody who played through the game and really liked it. And if I was going to do like a top games of this year, it's not my number one, but it is up there for sure. Like, it is just a fantastic game that really, lives up to that hype and lives up to all those expectations. But at the same time, it practically sweeping the Game Awards was funny in the moment, and in hindsight, it makes you go like, some of the other games really deserved something, right?
Yeah.
And not necessarily in like a participation trophy type deal. Because I was seeing some people argue that it shouldn't have been in the indie game category. I mean,
yeah, that was the biggest discourse I saw, and that's like the only one that I think had merit. But
looking into it more, it's like it does border more on like the AA category. So I think that's fair. And when you look at, say, like, I think it was like best debut indie game, seeing that game stacked up with everything else next to it, I'm like, oh, none of these other games have a fucking chance. And it honestly was kind of sad to see. Like, I thought about it. Did you ever watch that episode of Home Improvement where they go to like the TV awards, right, for Tool Time? But they're like, oh, we don't want to go because Cooking with Irma wins all the time. But then they go anyways. And yeah, like Cooking with Irma basically wins everything. And then they even make the joke. I think I made the joke on stream where they're just like, oh, we should just put your table just up on stage so you can just walk up there and get it. It's just one of those things where it just worries me with kind of just the Game Awards or almost the industry in general, where they'll just like every year we kind of focus on one big game and it just wins a shit ton of awards. Like, this isn't that new. Like, Baldur's Gate did it. Elden Ring did it. Like, I think Red Dead Redemption 2 sweeped a bunch of awards. Like, it's like maybe not as most, because I think Expedition 33 at 9 awards is the most one game has ever won in any show.
Yeah,
but
because I know last year it was Astrobot, but Astrobot definitely didn't sweep everything.
No, it didn't win that much stuff. And people go into like it's more of like a fun variety to see a bunch of different games win stuff. And I agree. Like, it's better to like you're more curious to see what's going to happen type of a deal. But I think at the end of the day, we do not watch the Game Awards for the awards.
No, honestly, the awards are the least interesting thing about it. The Game Awards, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, like if I were looking at this, I would probably have taken Expedition 33 off of the Indie Awards entirely, let 2 other games win it. And there are some people saying like the RPG stuff that maybe Kingdom Come Deliverance should have won that because it handles its RPG mechanics better than that. I haven't played Kingdom Come, so I can't say. But I haven't heard anybody say for the most part it didn't deserve a Game of the Year. I think most people are like, yeah, it was the clear winner. I just think people were like, but maybe these other categories, maybe some other games should have got it to give them a little bit more of a representation, I guess. So I mean, hopefully it's not something where in the future we see literally one game sweep everything. And then people will be like, guys, come on. This is kind of ridiculous, Because some people compared it to, if you remember, when Return of the King came out, that swept the Oscars. Like, I think it won 12 Oscars. It was fucking nuts, right? But that's a great movie. And I think in hindsight, it's okay because that rarely happens. So I think it's just, if this doesn't become a pattern, I think it'll be okay. But it just reminds me of people saying like, the issues they have with the industry. And I think, one of the issues is we're not prioritizing enough games. There's a bunch of games that come out every year that are really cool, but people just seem to get hooked on like these like 1 to 3 or 4 big ones every year. And those get like all the awards. You know what I mean?
Jake said it best too. Like that one of the biggest problems with these award shows is they're basically a popularity contest.
I mean, that's what awards have always been.
Oh yeah. It's just a unfortunate thing about it.
But I give the Game Awards credit because they don't just do the fan vote, which I think is the way to go. Like, because then it's a pure popularity contest with them. At least, I mean, that's part of it, but they also have like critics and journalists and people within the industry, you know, casting their votes and all this, like people who have more knowledge about the games that come out every year and play them than we do. You know, so they're trying to do it right. You know, it's better than them, say, creating like a like the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences for the Grammys, or, you know, however those are set up. Like, I think the Oscars, like, who votes for them, it's like a very mysterious panel of people. Like, we don't know. But I think that's also kind of smart because it keeps them like out of the spotlight and just kind of lets them be the thing. But, you know, but gaming's a lot different from the movie industry in that regard. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting to see. Yeah, Expedition 33 deserved the awards. It deserved a good chunk of the awards it got. There's a few I'm like, you could have given somebody else. You know, I think it'll be fine. My question is, where are all of these? Like, is Sandfall, are they just going to have like a shelf behind like their front desk, and it's just like when you walk in and it's just lined with all of them? That'll be funny.
I mean, probably. I don't know.
But you got to think, it puts a lot of pressure on them for their next game.
Yeah, that anytime a company has a fucking astronomical game like this, it's always a challenge.
And it's their first game too.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be looking to see what they do in the next couple years. So
we shall see.
But anyways, I thought for the most part the show was fine. Like, I thought the pacing of it and everything was a lot
so much better than last year.
Yeah, like, I mean, people are still going to complain about the pacing. I get it's a 3.5 hour show. Like, you could trim 30 minutes out of it and probably.
Yeah, we didn't need all the Muppets fluff. Like, it's funny every now and then. But...
Jeff Keighley fucked Miss Piggy.
Yeah, that was implied. And I was like, okay.
I'm like, does he not get pussy that much to the point where he has to make this fake skit that he fucked Piggy? Like, is that where Keighley is at? You know, like dog, if you're not getting any pussy, that's fine. But you don't have to like make up this weird scenario, because now you have me thinking about her genitalia, and I don't want to be thinking about that.
So, see, there's a wonderful website for that. Everyone, you know it. I'm not going to say it, but you know it. Disgusting,
you all. But outside of that, like, music performances were fine. It felt like they put a little bit more emphasis on the awards and then let the winners actually talk, which was good. We didn't have like, we had a parade of celebrities, but it wasn't as much as before.
Yeah, we didn't get drunk Harrison Ford this year.
That's a downgrade if you're asking me. Instead, we have like the entire Street Fighter cast.
Yeah,
paraded out. And for a movie that honestly kind of looks like shit. Yeah. And then taking pot shots at Mortal Kombat, like, fuck you. How dare you?
Like, you know, it's bad when I watch that trailer like separately, and I'm like, you know, the original Street Fighter movie looks better than this.
I mean, the new one, it feels like they're trying to be closer to the games, but do like a real life version of it, like silly, but also bits of it kind of look AI to me.
See, if you're gonna watch a Street Fighter movie, just watch the '94 anime movie. You're good.
Honestly, yeah. I've seen bits of that. It's pretty good. But yeah, don't take pot shots at a fucking fighting game series that has a better movie track record.
Yeah, that had a movie.
Like Mortal Kombat has had
pretty decent.
Yeah, that one a couple years ago was good. The '95 one, I will always defend that one. I can't defend Annihilation though.
Well, no one does, but most people people just kind of go, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, but they have good movies, plural. Street Fighter doesn't even have one yet.
Also, Mortal Kombat has lore that's generally fascinating. Street Fighter is Street Fighter.
I know Street Fighter has lore, but nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Whereas Mortal Kombat, the lore is kind of what makes that series, at least for me.
Pretty much, in all honesty.
Right. But yeah, the pacing was good. It felt like everything kind of flowed decently well, and there weren't parts where I was completely bored.
Yeah, there was no stage invader this year, so that's good.
Yeah, no Bill Clinton. But he's Bubba's busy in some other ways. But regardless of that,
there was Flute Guy though.
Flute Guy. Yeah, shout out to Flute Guy. He's great.
Evanescence was there.
They were fine. I've never been a big Evanescence fan, so
I like the first album, like most people. So,
but anyways, the announcements. There were a ton of game announcements. We're not going to go through all of them,
Yeah.
but we can talk about the ones. I'll just go chronologic, or I'll go through this list that I have, the ones that stand out to me. The first one is it opened the show, which in hindsight, maybe it shouldn't have opened the show, but we'll get to that. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. It is I guess a spirit Knights of the Old KOTOR 3. I think it's the closest we're going to get to a KOTOR 3. It has the original director, KT Hudson, attached to it. And he has created, I guess, a brand new studio to make this game. It's a really nice cinematic trailer with no information on when it's getting released at all.
Honestly, probably for the better. Just take
there
your
was,
time.
I mean, there was some rumor that it could be like 2030 at like the earliest, which is crazy to think about. But I guess recently somebody asked Casey Hudson about that, and he said he wants it out sooner than that, even. So who knows? I mean, it's cool to see. I'll take a KOTOR 3. Why not?
It was funny how like the whole time I'm sitting here going like, I'm so burned out on Star Wars, I don't care. And then I saw Old Republic, I'm like, never mind, I'm cool. I'm like, okay, you got me interested.
So you're not burnt out on Star Wars. You just need the right thing to pull you in.
It's got to be something I actually give a shit about, because there's so much Star Wars crap now that I'm just like, they have milked it so fucking dry that I'm like,
yeah, I will always be interested in the game side, because there's a very good track record of Star Wars in video games. So true. I always stay into that. Like the Jedi game, the first 2 Jedi games are great. I am so excited for that third one whenever it's coming out. There's that weird XCOM Star Wars next year that I'll look at. I don't know if I'll play it, but it looks interesting. And then there's that Eclipse thing being done by our boys at Heavy Rain. So who knows whenever that's coming out.
Yeah.
So and also that KOTOR 1 remake that like got announced.
About.
It got announced in a similar way to this, but then we found out it was being done by Aspire, the company that were just doing remasters of everything, and we're like, we expect them to make like a full AAA Star Wars game. Like they don't have the track record for that. And shocker, they couldn't do it. So it got quietly canceled, but then Saber, because I think they're Aspire and Saber were both owned by Embracer at that point, though I think Saber broke off recently. We're like, no, we're doing it. Like we've taken it and we're gonna do it. And it's like, and people are like, I have more confidence in them handling it. So yeah, Saber, but we haven't heard anything about it since. So who knows?
See.
Genuinely, who knows? I'm not holding my breath.
There's also a pod racing game that's cool, I guess.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. Star Wars Galactic Racer. Hold on, here it is. It is a game from, again, a new studio called Fuse Games, where Fuse is a new studio that was founded by a bunch of people who worked at Criterion. Because I think it was Criterion laid off a few people over the last year or so.
They got redesignated to make Battlefield or Call of Duty, whatever they're doing now.
Battlefield, EA, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, because after the last Need for Speed Unbound, they were like, EA's like, oh, we're going to put a break on Need for Speed because the sales are slowing and we don't know what to do with racing games. And everyone shouts at them, just make another Burnout. And they're like, wait, what'd you say? What's that? But nevertheless, Criterion worked on that, but then a bunch of people left. There was one studio that was formed by former Criterion people who made I think it's like Recreation, and some of these, like Recreation is it's a game that came out recently and is like a sort of Burnout Paradise 2, the closest thing to it that we're ever going to get, kind of a thing. But this Galactic Racing game is being done by, as I said, Fuse Games, a bunch of other people who left from there. And yeah, that trailer looked sick as hell.
It looks cool. I joke saying, great. Oh, good, they're making a game off the only part of episode 1 anyone likes. Besides the Darth Maul fight.
Yeah, now this is pod racing. But I think it's implied in that trailer there will be pod racing, but it's not like all pod racing. Like it's going to be a mixture of Star Wars vehicles throughout the series, which honestly is really interesting.
That's pretty fun. Like I would love to just do like a fucking fighter race.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. They didn't put a release date on this one, did they?
If they did, I didn't remember it.
Okay. My guess is, oh yeah, no, they did. It's going to be next year. So I will look forward to it because I'm genuinely curious to what they're gonna show us. Let's see, back up here. So that mysterious statue got a reveal, as we heard it was divinity, and indeed it is divinity.
What a trailer! What a trailer!
Yeah, so yeah, I'll get to that in a second. So yeah, Larian is making a new divinity game that is touted to be bigger than Baldur's Gate 3. Like it's going to be like this huge, massive game, and it's supposed to be out next year or 27. Again, I forget. I don't have the release date up here, at least from what I've seen. So bear with me on that. And yeah, that trailer, yeah, like Burning Man orgy. Hell yeah.
With the plague. Like everything was going on there.
Oh, it was kind of nuts. And apparently some people I know were kind of upset at the trailer because it was very, very explicit, and doing the whole thing of like, oh, there's kids that watch this show kind of a thing. I get where they're coming from. But part of my, I guess, response to that was at the start of the show, they labeled like E to M on the show, right? They've shown kind of explicit trailers in the past, not to this extent, but they've shown similar things. And they literally said it's a new game from Larian, who made Baldur's Gate 3. And if you know anything, you know that Baldur's Gate 3 is not a kid's game.
No, you can fuck a bear.
Yeah, so like at the end of the day, like right before the trailer, if they just wanted to say like a viewer discretion advised, this isn't for kids, sure, that's fine. But other than that, fuck it, just let the thing play. Like you just like if you're like if you're so worried about children seeing things, like if you're a parent, then just try to have some better media literacy and try to be more aware of what your kids are consuming. I know nobody's perfect at that, and nobody can be, but you have to make the fucking effort if you're going to care this much, right?
I find a lot of the people that make those complaints are also the same people that just leave their children with iPads unattended. So
yeah, it's just a weird thing. So like, but I get it. It's pretty like, shocking or whatever. But also if it's something that like bothers you personally, like if you didn't like that trailer, I totally get that. But that's always my issue when it comes to like censorship is people just be like, well, I don't like this, so I don't want anybody else to see it. And then they use like the kids as like an argument, and I'm like, I don't agree with that. Like I don't. I think that's bad because using the kids as an excuse to not let adults see media that is made for them is stupid.
Also, when you go out of your way to be like, make it the children, like blah blah blah, all it does is make the children more interested.
That too. But but to be fair, the Divinity trailer is not something I would let my son see. So
no, that was a lot. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. So shield your eyes, kids. But but also my son's not at that age where he's curious about weird shit like that. So
yeah,
it'll happen in the future, but I'll try my best to be prepared.
See, that trailer wasn't like Starship Troopers. Like that was like a lot. There was a lot going on in the Divinity trailer.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what else here. Oh yeah, there's that Chicken Foot game. And that made me reference the band. It's like it's a game. Oh, it's a game from Bruce Straley's studio. The man behind the success of Uncharted and Last of Us.
Well, Uncharted 4. Amy Hennig was the first three Uncharted.
Yeah. Again, it's just I find Neil Druckmann so overrated.
Yeah,
just my opinion. But yeah, coming with Chicken Foot and whatever. Leon Kennedy is going to be playable in RE9, which I think was leaked a while ago.
Yeah, everyone think we saw that coming.
Yeah, sure, why not? Oh yeah, Wizards of the Coast are doing that like sci-fi action RPG called Exodus. I guess that's Matthew McConaughey in it. I must have missed him.
I was too, just like when the second I saw Wizards of the Coast, my brain just went, don't care. Just immediately turned it off.
I mean, it looks interesting. Like maybe it's them trying to do some Mass Effect-y kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Let's see. Oh yes, my big one. This is me, baby. Control Resonant, which had been like trademarked a while ago. and I think I mentioned it on the show. I was like, that's most likely just the name of Control 2. And I was right. It is. It's the name of Control 2. And we got this really cool fucking trailer where it's revealed that we're playing as Dylan Faden, who's the brother of Jesse from the first game. And he's like the reason Jesse goes into the Bureau and everything. I don't want to say too much. If you haven't played it, go play it. In this game, instead of the gun that she has, Dylan has a giant ass hammer. And the environments look a lot different. It looks like a lot of it's taking place outside of the Bureau. And I mean, I'm hoping we get to play as Jesse in this game. It could just be a case of like maybe we go back and forth, or it's like majority Dylan and then maybe later Jesse. Like if it's one of those things where I play and beat the whole game as Dylan, and then they're like, now you can play the whole game as Jesse. I'm like, fuck, I'm playing this game twice now. So who knows on that? But what blew me away is it's coming out next year, which is quite a turnaround because they had announced like Control 2 fully going into production like early last year. So even if they had started it prior to that, the fact that they were confident enough in this game to show footage of it and smack a year on it is very impressive to me. I have a feeling it'll be a November 26 game. Like it'll be like at the end of the year. And
it'll come out just in time for Rockstar to delay Grand Theft Auto 6 again.
Honestly, if this comes out the same day as GTA 6, I will feel really bad for it. But but we have the date for GTA. I think the date we have for GTA 6 now is set. I don't think it's moving. So like, you know, they can plan around that, but I'm buying Control Resonant first anyway. So but yeah, very, very excited for it. It looks great. And now I need to replay Control 1 sometime next year before this comes out. So
the trailer made me interested in trying Control 1. So
dude, you've heard me praise it to death. It's so fucking good. It is an amazingly fun video game. Well worth your time. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got so if y'all remember the Yakuza creator Toshihiro Nagoshi left to form a new studio under Tencent quite a few years ago, and he said that he was going to be working on games that are basically like Yakuza, just not called Yakuza, basically. And we got the first trailer for it, a game called Gang of Dragon, which is a hilarious name.
Very on the nose there.
Yeah, very on the nose. In fact, the actor that we saw, like the big prolific guy, is a South Korean American actor, Madong Seok. I probably said that wrong. Yeah, he's a big beefy boy. He was in Marvel's Eternals, so it's cool to see. And trailer looks fucking cool. And
it looked like Yakuza. So
yeah, I'll take more of that. Sure. So it looks cool to me. Crystal Dynamics announced 2 Tomb Raider games.
And they looked good.
Yeah, they both look good. They look good, right? We got the remake of the first game called Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis coming out in 2026, and then a brand new game called Tomb Raider Catalyst coming out in 2027.
I'm as much as the remake looked good, I am way more interested in the new one, to be honest.
I mean, I'm probably going to play both. I did throw Tomb Raider Anniversary, the 360 remake, on my to play like backlog for next year. Because I just need to catch up on the Tomb Raider series kind of in general. So hopefully I can get to that before this remake, and maybe I'll compare the two. Who knows? But they both look good. You know, whenever nowadays a new Tomb Raider game comes out, there's always people commenting on like, are her boobs big enough? You know, all that weird bullshit. So I don't want to get into that. She looks closer to like the Legend. 360 era than, yeah, she looks closer to Legend than like Shadow, you know? So if that excites you, then go for it. Otherwise, I'm like, I just think they're good games. I don't really, you know, I mean, having an attractive woman helps, but it doesn't sell the game for me.
I mean, the people who joke about the first game, they forget her anatomy in the first game was fucked up. Like,
oh yeah, it's very bad
at all.
Very bad.
So
yeah, so ridiculous. Trying to see anything. Oh yeah, Bradley the Badger We got excited over this.
That fucking surprised us because like that trailer. Not only were we the whole time we were like, "Is it a platformer?" We're like, it is a platformer. Why is it meta?
Like, yeah, apparently it's from David Solani, a guy who worked on Mario Rabbids. So and it's like a puzzle platformer action adventure kind of a thing. Yeah, it's a colorful action adventure game from Mario Rabbids creative director David Solani and Red Dead Redemption writer Christian Contamessa. They formed a company called Day 4 Night. And they wacky combo. And then they announced this game, which it's like you're a badger who like has like shape-shifting abilities, and a lot of these areas that they show in the trailer, which I think they're implying will be in the game, are like satires of other games. So we have like Bloodborne, The Last of Us, Cyberpunk was in there. So somebody described it as like Wreck-It Ralph, and I think I could see some influence in there for sure.
It reminded me a lot of like the PS2 era of platformers, where you just had so many really interesting ideas. None of them ever went anywhere, but like it had that like vibe to me.
Sure. And it looks really fucking neat. Like I will be keeping my eye on this one. The trail, I don't think they didn't give like a year or anything, and all they said was just wishlisted on Steam, but they have said it's going to come to consoles as well. So I imagine it'll be on all the consoles. Hopefully this year, hopefully in 26. I would really like to play this game.
I need another platformer that's as good as
Astronaut. The last one, the new one I played through was Penny's Big Breakaway, and I really liked that one. So hopefully this game scratches that kind of itch. Penny's Big Breakaway is a little different, but that game looks really cool. So I am excited for that. We talked about Galactic Racer. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're getting a new Mega Man, boy. We're getting one. Yep. And it's called Mega Man Dual Override, coming out in 2027. I don't know if you noticed, but it's coming out in 2027 for PS5, Series X, Switch 2, but also PS4, Xbox One, and Switch 1. So the PS4 is still getting games in 2027. It's not dying, folks.
Well, I mean, that's just Sony's MO. I mean, the PS3 was still getting games until like the PS5 came out. The PS2 fucking lived forever. PS1 lived forever.
But if we're thinking about it, the PS4 came out in 2013, right? So in 2027, it'll be 14 years old. It outlived the PS2, because I think the last official PS2 game was 2013.
I believe so, and I think it was officially
in
14.
It fucking outlived it. That is crazy. To really think about it, a console that I think the PS2 in some ways was more of a phenomenon, but I think it just also, it's like how tech hasn't changed that much. I mean, we're games like you see a Mega Man Dual Override and you probably be like, oh yeah, I can see it on PS4. Why not?
See, the thing is, like, the PS2 was kind of a phenomenon. The PS4 is just like literally, it is old reliable, the console. Like it just there's nothing wrong with it. It does its job, and they're still affordable. Like in the last couple weeks, I've been seeing people say like probably the best deal in gaming these days is to go buy a PS4, like a base PS4 for $100. Yeah. And honestly, like that, or even like an Xbox One S, which you can get for roughly the same price. Yeah, even a One original, they're kind of about the same price as well. Like, fuck it. Just go back a gen and you'll still have a ton of games to play. And they're still getting new games. So, you're not missing out on a lot of stuff. Like I got my Xbox One, it was like 2021 or 28. I forget when I got it, but I had it for a good couple years, even into the Series X's life, until I eventually transitioned over, and I really didn't miss a huge amount of Series X and S games. So, but I eventually caught up with those anyway. So, yeah. But Mega Man Dual Override, I gotta ask a question, because I've been thinking about it. It's a classic 2D style game. It has that cel shaded art style. It doesn't look like it's in the 11 engine, or maybe it is and they kind of altered it. But also they just use RE engine these days, so they may have taken the work they did on the 11, because I don't think they used RE for that. No, 11 they used MT Framework, which is a dead engine at this point. Yeah, so maybe they took a lot of that work and just moved it over to RE engine.
because the game looks a lot better than 11. It
yeah.
looks like the shading and the lighting looks a lot cleaner. But I was thinking about it, and is this just Mega Man 12, but they're not calling it 12?
I'll have to see more of the game first, because if it's like significantly different and feels more like a spin-off, I can understand the name change. Or maybe they're just at the point where they're like, too many numbers, do something different.
It's very possible. In the press release, they didn't really say much other than it's 2027. They just say it's a brand new entry in the classic action platforming series. Override challenges, blast down legions of robots while springboarding across a new array of futuristic frontiers. So it could just be 12, and they're just like, we want to get away from the numbers because, after a while it gets kind of silly.
I mean, this is the franchise that has like 11 main series. Well, technically there is 12 main series if you count M base.
I think base is canon though.
It is. Then the X series has like 8 entries. The fucking Zero series has 4. Like, this is a convoluted franchise as it is. I mean,
yeah. So fuck it, why not? Just throw in a subtitle. So if it is 12, then fine. We know what to expect. It's a shame it's coming out in 27. Like, this feels like a game that could have come out in 26, but who knows? Maybe they just made.
Yeah, that might be all there is right now.
Yeah, we saw everything that they had, and they're like, we still got to work on the game, so we'll see you later.
They threw a vertical slice together just to be like, Mega Man fans, we care.
They perfect darked it.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, when we saw that Perfect Dark trailer, later on we learned that was just the vertical slice that they had. Like, that was all they had. So, but it does follow their kind of them affirming like, we want to do stuff with Ace Attorney and Devil May Cry and blah 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 blah, right? So it kind of fits in with that. And if you think about it, Capcom's like upcoming lineup is fairly strong. We have a brand new Onimusha, a brand new Okami, a new Mega Man, assuming DM6 is on the way. We'll hear from that eventually, I would say. Probably a new Ace Attorney, Resident Evil Requiem, like Street Fighter 6 is going strong. Monster Hunter Wilds is hopefully fixed its problems. Like, Capcom is killing it right now.
Capcom's healthy again. It's nice to see.
Yeah, and they're at a point, like, health-wise, where they're like, oh, we can look at all of our IPs and do something with them. And apparently they're wanting to sell 100 million games in a year. That is their target. And they think the best way they can do that is by, taking their core IPs and making new entries for all of them to cause that big sales surge, which is the way to go.
It is.
Give a bunch of different people who like a bunch of their different games for different reasons to buy something. Just
don't do the Square Enix method and release 30 games and not promote any of them.
Capcom's better about promoting their games, though.
Oh, I know.
Like Capcom really is, if we would call them a AAA studio, because we don't think of Japanese studios as AAA, though. Like, we only use that for like Western terminology, not necessarily Japan. But I think Capcom's a AAA studio, right? They're probably they're the company that you should just do this. Like, if you want to be a AAA studio, follow what they're doing. Them, probably Nintendo. Also, I'm a big Remedy guy. There are a few AAA studios that are still putting out bangers and really killing it.
Would you count Sega as AAA these days?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Sega's been doing really well also. So, yeah, there are still AAA studios doing their thing. But I notice when people complain about AAA stuff, they always leave the Japanese devs out of there.
Well, because the Japanese stuff never fits their agenda they're trying to.
Exactly. Yeah. Because also, like, FromSoft. Because I would say FromSoft is AAA at this point. Mm-hmm. So, but those are the big ones. Oh, yeah. There was that one, like, game where you're herding sheep.
That looks so dumb, but kind of awesome at the same time.
You know what? It looks all right.
It was better than that, like, fucking anime slop that they were fucking throwing around. There was like 6 games that were just straight up anime slop.
Yeah, there was a couple of those. But yeah, just glancing. Oh yeah, the guy from Braid's making a new game called Order of the Sinking Star, which looks interesting. I'd be curious to see a new idea from him. I tried to get in the braid and I couldn't. But I need to try again. So, a release date for Lego Batman dropped. I will play that game in 6 months when it's $20. And that's really all I got, unless you have anything. Oh, I can't believe I forgot. Ace Combat 8.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Strange
Reels back, baby.
Yeah, Wings of Thief is coming out next year.
We're running out of goddamn subtitles for these games, but I'm fine. That's fine.
But that's cool that they're bringing that back. Though Ace Combat 7 wasn't that long ago. Was it 2019?
It was the last gen Ace Combat game, and this will be this gen's Ace Combat.
Yeah, I actually threw 7 on my to play for next year list, so I will be playing that. I really want to.
I gotta redo that whole series at some point.
It would be fun to play through some of the older ones, but I want to just do 7 because that's the one I have. So
it's fun when you go through them, but then you get to 3 and you're like, why is this one weird? Because 3 went to the future for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I'm excited for that one. So that's coming out next year. Was there anything I missed of interest for you?
Not really. I think we covered pretty much everything.
Okay. I mean, there was a bunch of other stuff, but a lot of it is just like whatever. But speaking of whatever, I want to talk about the final announcement because I think this was like the real dud of the show. So it was like Jeff Keighley was really hyping up this final announcement. He was really excited about it.
It was such a dud. I've already forgotten what it was. So
I'll get to. Some people thought it was going to be Half-Life 3, and I was in the back of my head going, "Man, that would be a sick announcement to end everything on," but it didn't happen. But that's another story for another day. Anyways, he was really hyping up. That's like, we got this new game. So some people from Respawn, who were known for Apex Legends and Titanfall, have like left, and they have formed their own new studio, and they have like a new game coming, and I'm really excited to show you guys, right? And in my head, and probably other people's head, are thinking, are we getting Titanfall 3 in quotes? Like, are we getting a new Titanfall? No, we are getting a game called High Guard, which is a free-to-play PvP raid shooter coming out, and its test starts on January 26th. Right. That was the final announcement that he hyped to the moon the whole show. He's like, "Oh, you got to see this last announcement," and we all were like, "What? Why would you end your whole award show on the announcement of a game that just looks like Temu Apex Legends?"
Yeah, I mean, that it's a genre that I don't really care about. So like when I saw that, I was like, "Meh." I was like, "All right."
I really don't think anybody was interested, to be honest. Like, the audience response wasn't that great, and the online response, everyone was like, "This is a terrible final announcement." Like he had it hyped to where it's like, "Oh, we're gonna get like a Titanfall spiritual successor," which would have actually been exciting, but no. Instead, it's just this. And
they announced Diablo DLC.
Yeah.
So if you're still playing Diablo 4,
I played a bit of Diablo 4 and I liked it.
Oh, it's a good game.
Yeah, but I haven't played a lot of Diablo, so those games are not games I have a lot of experience with.
I think the whole time we were commenting about how fucking Blizzard has like some of the best cinematic people in the industry.
Oh, yeah, they look so good. They might be working with Larian as well, because that Divinity trailer looked high fidelity as well.
It did.
So
it sure did.
Yeah, it did. But yeah, that was the Game Awards. Still waiting on that Pragmata demo to jump on the consoles. I haven't seen it yet. So, but yeah, that was Game Awards.
Yep,
it's fine, not bad at all.
It came and went, and then
it's better than some of the shows we've seen in the last couple of years. I will say that there was a lot more announcements I was genuinely interested in. I thought, the pacing of the show was a lot better, and they gave the people who won awards time to actually say shit. And like the weird dumb comedy stuff, it didn't go on for too long. Like, it was just enough to be like, okay, let's fucking move on. So I think if they keep this format, maybe shorten it a little bit. Again, I think we could trim maybe 30 to 45 minutes out of it, and it would be a better, more compact event. But I don't know.
before we get into our game, though, we did get new Nintendo music.
Yeah. What did we get this week?
It's a game that actually matters to me. So,
oh yeah, I think Rayman 2 and Tonic Trouble are out on Nintendo Classics now.
and people get to play Tonic Trouble and be like, "Wow, this is jank."
Yeah. By the time you're hearing this, so I will be messing around with Rayman 2 because I want to play that one. Let's see. Oh, look at that. We got Super Mario Land 1.
Such an iconic soundtrack.
Hold on. All right, that's enough. I went probably a little too far. I grew up on the Super Mario Land. It was one of the first Game Boy games I ever had. Played the shit out of. I still have that cart. One of my dogs chewed on it, so it occasionally has issues booting up, but it still boots up and it's still playable. But it still has its problems. But yeah, I've beaten that game multiple times.
I think 2 is the better game, but the soundtrack in 1 is such an iconic soundtrack.
In a lot of ways, yeah, like Mario Land 2 is the better game. It utilizes the hardware a lot more, and I like a lot of the unique environments the game has.
I think I'm in that minority. I think Mario Land 2 might be my favorite side-scrolling Mario game.
Yeah, I'm not going to go that far, but Super Mario Land 1 just holds a lot of nostalgic appeal for me.
Mario Land 1 is a fun game, but man, is it janky in the weirdest ways.
But I like the jank because it allows it to stick out from the NES games. And I think that was the idea.
See, my favorite part about
we can't do the shell thing, so we'll just have their shells explode.
See, there's stuff awesome. Like that.
That's so cool.
There's stuff like that. There's like the Super Ball. And then my favorite is like the physics are so wonky in that game. Like my favorite thing ever is like if you jump normally, gravity works normal. But if you like step slightly off a ledge, you just fall like a fucking rock.
Yeah, like an anvil. Yeah, it's so good.
It's so funny. And it's like, this makes no sense.
Yeah, like it has those weird physics, but the game is built around those physics and it plays by its own rules. To where like if you're familiar with Mario, you have a rough idea of how to do it. But as you play, you're like, oh, there's some slightly different things, but it doesn't detract from what makes that game a lot of fun for me. As you said, yeah, the soundtrack is so fucking good.
Like
those are some real great tunes, some great tunes just across the board.
When Smash Brothers Brawl came out and we got the Subspace Emissary, I remember there's an entire stage which uses the underground land theme, and I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great tune. So I was going to say something. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, it's a great game. Great soundtrack. Y'all should go listen to it. Y'all should just go play that game. You have ways of playing it if you haven't. And you can beat it in like 30 minutes. It's fairly quick.
It is very short.
Yeah. In fact, I tried to get all the retro achievements for it a while back. There's a few of them that are really tough. So I'm maybe like 4 short or something like that, but I got most of them. But anyways, that's enough of that. Why don't we get into our game for this week?
Yeah, this is where the person in the comments will bitch that we don't talk about the game for the first part of the episode. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, did we get that again?
Yeah, we got an angry comment complaining that we didn't get to the game for like 20 minutes.
Who
this
was
one took
it?
An hour. I don't know, some guy on YouTube.
Well, you know, we could put like little chapters in there.
We do. They're actually automatically generated and they're cursed as fuck, but they're funny as hell too at the same time.
Well, are they in the YouTube version?
I don't think they're in the YouTube version. I think it's strictly on the audio. But
that's when you want to comment to somebody, just skip to this time if you just want to hear about the game.
Yeah, no, I mean our format's been pretty well known for a while, so. But
well, you're always going to get new people who just aren't aware, you know.
True, and
so, but it's fine.
I think the game they commented on too was like one of the ones where the game was basically a nothing burger of a game, so it was kind of like, what do you want us to
do? There's always one of them, right?
But speaking of,
so yeah, what is our game for this week, Bill?
Phoenix 3. There's no Phoenix 1 or 2.
I know.
It's a great sign when the game doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah. I literally had to look at like Moby Games to find anything out.
So Phoenix 3, it is one of the rare side-scrolling platformers on the system.
It might be our last.
I think it's the last technical one. I think there might be some stretches like down the line that we could make the argument, but this is like the last true side-scrolling platformer. It is a unique side-scrolling platformer because it uses full motion video.
Yeah, sorta.
Kinda. And would it is it fair to say that the side-scrolling is the worst part of the game?
If we're comparing the two different game styles, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. This one was rough, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so according to Moby Games, it is a sci-fi adventure with two completely different play styles. Half the game is a slow-paced side-scrolling shooter. The other half is 3D space combat similar to Wing Commander. It features live-action video cutscenes that unfold the story. Most of the game takes place on the planet Gal Earth, and has been at peace for centuries, but is now threatened by alien invaders known as the Grawl. It is up to you, Derek Freeman, the Freeman, to uncover an ancient weapon known as the Talon that can defeat the Grawl. So kind of your standard fare, right? So yeah, like the FMV cutscenes, they're corny, but they are not charming at all.
No,
really hurts for me.
The main character is stiff as a fucking board. Like,
yeah, he's just your like typical, like he's like the worst traits of Steven Seagal and Fabio together as one human being. Like he's just stiff, muscly. He's got the slick back hair. He looks like he could be tough in a fight, but he has nothing that makes either of those guys interesting at all.
Yeah, like this game makes fucking like digital pictures games look like fine art.
Yeah, like a high Hollywood production fare. So,
yeah.
And this is developed by Gray Matter Inc. I'm trying to think, is there another studio that's named Gray Matter?
There is. So, fun fact: this is the same studio that did Foes of Ali, and I made I made the mistake in the episodes claiming that it was the same studio that made Return to Wolfenstein, and then I was like, oh wait, no, that's a different Gray Matter. There's
what that Gray Matter? They're the one that did what you said, Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
Yes, yeah, the PS2, Xbox, PC
one. Gray Matter Studios. This is Gray Matter Inc. It's like an Avalanche thing, or or what's the other one? The one that does Xenoblade.
Oh, Monolith. Yeah.
Monolith, yeah, the two. Well, the other one's dead, but it is what it is. Yeah, and that Gray Matter Studios, the one that did Castle Wolfenstein, I talked about on Thrak Ops because they did the United Offensive expansion for the original Call of Duty. And after that, they were acquired by Activision and merged into Treyarch while they were working on Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1. So they don't exist. Well, they exist as a extension of Treyarch.
They exist the same way how Neversoft technically still exists as Infinity Ward.
Exactly. But Gray Matter had already had experience making some Call of Duty stuff, and I think I talk about it in Thrak Ops when they were doing Big Red 1 and into 3. They wanted another studio while Infinity Ward was doing their thing to fill in those gap years, and Treyarch seemed to be a good fit because they weren't doing a lot. They didn't really have a series to stick with, and they wanted Gray Matter to still work on stuff because they had a proven track record, but they're like, we'll put them over here to help these guys out because they have promise, and then it just they just naturally fucked and, whatever. They got married. Yeah. Good for them.
This Gray Matter, on the other hand, died in 96 and made such wonderful games like...
Oh, please list off their gamography. I'm looking at it right now.
Well, we got their first game, Infiltrator, which doesn't ring a bell? They made a Mad Max game at one point, a Dirty Harry game.
Yes. There's an NES Mad Max game, published by Mindscape.
The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Yes, I've heard of that. Yeah, that Dirty Harry NES game is really bad.
They made that amazing Spider-Man versus the Kingpin Sega CD game, which I've heard is also bad.
Yeah, I've heard that. They did the SNES Terminator game, which is not good either.
No, it's not the Sega CD game by any means.
They made WWF King of the Ring, which is one of the handful of NES wrestling games and is functionally maybe the best one of the bunch, but none of them are great. This one might be the best of those, but that doesn't really say anything.
They also made,
because it's not one that anybody remembers.
They also made The Crow, City of Angels. You remember that movie got a sequel? Well, it also
yeah, that video game. They made the Wayne's World game.
They sure did.
Party time.
I'm pretty the best game in there.
James Bond Jr. Some Ren and Stimpy games. That Bob game that I see here and there. NHL All-Star Hockey, which is one of the Game Gear games I don't have yet. They did Super RBI Baseball. RBI Baseball must have been in a bad place at that point.
Yeah. Is it bad that, like, honestly, looking at all these games, I think the best game they made was Foes of LE?
I mean, we haven't played everything, so we're not sure yet. The last game they made was a game called Perfect Weapon, which looks like a beat 'em up brawler thing.
It's got the view mature content warning on it.
I know, and then I look at the cover and it's like fine. Like I don't see anything bad about this. Yeah, let me look at a closer up view of it.
Why is this censored?
That's what I just said. I don't.
Yeah.
Other than like his dick, the outline of his dick is very prominent in that bodysuit. But other than that, like this is a teen game. Why are you censoring a teen game? God, these are these Divinity people I was bitching about. Anyways, not a great track record. But they've made enough games to where if you're listening to this, you may have stumbled upon playing one of these at some point in your life. Phoenix 3 feels like their attempt at making an original IP that they can kind of hang their hat on, which I don't blame them for wanting to do, right? And again, it's a game that I think we've said it a million times on this show. It's ambitious. They're definitely trying to do something neat. And while I think it's not completely terrible, I just don't think they were talented enough to really pull off what they wanted to pull off.
Yeah, because they really tried to do that whole like full motion video like style of graphics for the
digitized sprites.
For the platforming, and I'm not gonna lie, his running animation makes him look like he's got to pee like really bad.
Oh yeah, time. Couldn't agree more. His like animation, like if it looks like they didn't use enough frames of them filming him, it feels like they did it in a way that they saw how Mortal Kombat did it, like say in the arcades, and then we're just like, oh, well, we can try that. But it feels like they didn't do like what makes the digitized stuff in Mortal Kombat work so well is, well, they use a lot of frames of animation, right? But with the arcades, they're allowed to do that, so it looks very smooth. But also there was a lot of post processing that goes into that, like a lot of touch up in like the color, and sometimes they'll even draw some extra details on the characters that they didn't have in the film that they had, because like they were just using like a VHS camera. So you kind of work with what you got. But they would do a lot of that work afterwards to make them look a lot better. So in some of the games, like they're digitized, but it's almost kind of seamless looking to where if you didn't know that, you wouldn't think that. You'd just be like, oh, that's just a really interesting kind of art style.
Yeah.
They're able to add some hand-drawn elements to it. But a lot of games that do that attempt that, don't have that extra quality to detail. And this game is that, where there are moments he just looks like a fucking weird blob.
Yeah, like
You know?
It's bad when like Lester the Unlikely has a better animation than this.
Well,
game.
that's using just rotoscoped.
True.
And I have a feeling they were just using the Prince of Persia rotoscope animation that already existed. Like it was already
True.
like this is like you just draw over what other people already did. Like that's a lot easier to do.
Fair. Maybe a better comparison is like Batman Forever. Like actually, I think looks better than this game.
Yeah, Batman Forever doesn't look great either, but it's better than this for sure. Because also I feel like they just didn't light him very well when they were doing those segments, so it just doesn't match. You know what I mean? And it makes playing the side-scrolling bits a lot weirder because the controls. I think the controls are honestly fine.
Yeah, they aren't bad.
But the way he reacts to things, it almost convinces you they're bad.
There's also
like the way he grabs on the ledges and shit is just kind of weird.
Yeah, there's also a lot of really cheap fucking shit in these levels.
Oh yeah, like the fucking spider that keeps pooping radioactive goo. I hate those things.
Or
though thankfully this game lets you crouch and shoot. And even though it looks like it shouldn't hit half the things it shoots that are that low, it gives it to you anyways, which is nice.
Yeah.
I don't like that the game forces you to keep track of the ammunition in your gun. I don't like that. I feel like that's unnecessary. They could have replaced all of those ammo drops with health drops because there's barely any health throughout these levels. Yeah. And some of them are kind of bullshit hard. And
long, very long. And you know what also is great about very long levels? There's no checkpoints.
Yeah, not a single. You make your own these days.
yeah. Playing it
like the way I did. I
playing it the way we did.
Save state here, and then just keep on moving.
We had the benefit that physical owners don't. The game does save though automatically periodically, so there's that, I guess.
Yeah, and it saves between levels, which is nice. I did bump the game to easy, which I think made the game a lot more bearable. Because in normal, I couldn't get past the second level.
Yeah, the second I realized there was no checkpoints, I was like, yeah, I'm going to easy. Fuck this.
Yeah. And when I went to easy, I had a much better time with it. You know, there were still some challenging bits, but it felt a lot more fair, I think.
Yeah, it was just monotonous and tedious. That was
and I hate every fucking platformer from this era that has fall damage. I hate it.
Oh, fuck that. I know, right?
Why did everybody feel the need to do this? Like, even when Mario did it in 64, I didn't like it, but it at least made some better sense than this. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was dumb. And also it felt like the bottom of the camera is literally where his feet were, you know? And it's like, can you move that down just like this much so I can kind of see what's below him? Because like I was calling it like a leap of faith game. Because there are so many times where you're just like, well, let's just fucking see what happens.
Yeah, there was many points where I was playing this where I was like, did Dimps make this game?
I think Dimps would have made this better.
No, Dimps it would have controlled better, but you still would have had bullshit bottomless pits everywhere for no reason.
Yeah. And also those like weird guns that hang from the ceiling. Those are the worst.
Those were annoying until I figured out like good ways to take them out by like just like messing with the guns a little bit.
Yeah, but they were the ones that most consistently took me out. And also like the level design was way too like kind of mazy. And there would be sections of the levels you just didn't see because the game doesn't do a good job of really guiding you to where you need to go.
No.
And because it'll show you like there'll be moments where it's like, oh, you see these things, but they're behind a wall. Figure out how to get there. And I would try to figure it out. And I'm like, where is it? Like back when I didn't see it and they were doing the haha, you didn't get it kind of thing. Like, you know, you need more open levels for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the platforming wasn't the worst thing in the world. We've played worse on this show than this, but it could have been a lot better.
It was very much like passable, but like,
yeah,
not good is like the best way to put it.
It's basically like how a D is a passing grade. It gets that. It gets like a mid. The side scrolling stuff gets like a like a 65, where it's like you technically passed, but you got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. But then we changed gameplay styles entirely, if you made
Yes,
it that
we did.
far, because I bet a lot of people did not make it that far.
But it's like, I think it's the 3rd level.
Yeah, it's like it opens up with like 2 side scrollers, and then
Yeah.
we get to a space shooter.
Yeah. And the space shooter segment was almost eye-opening, because the platforming sections ran like ass. They didn't run well at all. And then we cut to this, and it's like 3D shapes and everything.
Yeah, full textured 3D.
Full textured 3D, and it is smooth as butter.
Oh yeah, it's
like it's hitting 60. Like, what are we do? Like, the other ones were supposedly 60, but it felt really jaggy and hard to control. But yeah, we get to the space shooter stuff, and it's like, oh, this is nice. Like, this feels better than like 90% of the fucking space shooters we played on the show.
Like, it reminded me of Starblade if you could actually like control it.
In a way, yeah. Like, the controls were intuitive. They all kind of made sense. The little HUD they give you makes, it tells you exactly what to do, which is just, blow up that thing. And it does a good job of guiding you. You have like normal machine gun, you have like a homing missile. And it's all like, you don't have like a million things trying to kill you all at once. It's all fairly easy to understand. You can speed up, you can slow down. Like, it was very well done.
Yeah, and it looked great for 3DO standards.
Yeah, looked really good, controlled well, and my only criticism is on easy. It was maybe a little boring. Maybe in normal, it's more challenging. But yeah, it was crazy. Like, that dichotomy there, and it's like, it's actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah, and then it was over before you knew it, and you went right back into the fucking slow platforming.
Yeah, they didn't know their strengths. I like. Trying to make a multi-genre game like that in this era, I respect them for doing it, because I think this is the era where more and more companies were starting to do that. Like, oh, what if like our platforming game had a racing segment, or whatever, right? You're starting to see more of that, and I applaud them for trying it. I do. And even like the worst parts of this game were not like that bad.
No, this game is very competent overall in terms of like actual how it's made. It's just from a design standpoint, the side-scrolling levels aren't the best designed.
Yes. Yeah, they like, clearly they didn't know how to make a proper platformer, which is weird, because you look at their like past games, and a lot of what they did was platformers.
Yeah.
And hell, I'd argue some of the games we mentioned probably have better, 2D action platforming than this. Like that Terminator Super Nintendo game that I chat on, like, that has a lot better 2D action side scrolling than this game does, like by a mile. It's just that game is just really dull and boring, and you only have one fucking life.
Yeah. This is a weird comparison, but it does kind of relate. You know what game this reminded me of?
What's that?
Star Fox Adventures. In a sense where the majority of the gameplay is, in Star Fox Adventures case, it's a Zelda clone, but then it's broken up by these like really fun space shooting levels that are like arguably better than the main game. But they're so quick and short, and then you immediately go back to the other stuff.
But at least the adventuring stuff in Star Fox Adventures is good.
Yeah, it's much better designed. It's more just in Star Fox Adventures case, it's more the case where you're like, why is Fox McCloud doing this?
But weirdly enough, I see the comparison. Like a sci-fi game where it's this one guy trying to do his thing, and he has to alternate between like, landing on planets and doing shit, and then, flying around in space. I see the comparison.
It's just weird that it feels like the thing that was added that feels like it was added last minute and kind of tacked on is the better gameplay.
Yeah. Because I think the space shooting stuff didn't feel fully developed or fully realized. And yeah, it is a shame, because I do like genuinely like those segments.
Oh yeah. So, like, it was just insane when I got to them. I'm like, holy shit, this is 3DO. Like,
this is almost like PlayStation. What are we doing here?
well, because the 3DO is. I saw a joke once someone made where it's like the funniest part about the 3DO is that it wasn't very good at 3D.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Fair. I mean, not everything can be Need for Speed.
No, but also I think a lot of that just comes down to the developer.
Yeah, it was also it was older hardware when it came out, and then PlayStation just
and this game came out in 1995.
So this was near the end of 3DO's life.
Yeah, and it's one of the few 3DO games that never got a port to PlayStation or Saturn or anything, or even PC.
Yeah.
And it was published by Studio 3DO. So
yes, to me, I think this is definitely like a case of like Petanque, where it stayed exclusive to 3DO because nobody cared enough to want it.
And I think like 3DO paid for it, so that's probably the deal. Like we paid for this game, now you have to keep it on your thing.
Yeah, because you saw that with other games too, like Killing Time. Like we haven't got to that one yet, but that got a PC port, but it never got ported to any other system. Or Blade Force, which is a very interesting game that really does showcase the 3D, but it's also it's not a super deep game, I guess is the best way to put it.
You know, the further away we get from Blade Force, the more I'm like, that's a really good one.
Blade Force,
I've often thought about going back and playing it.
Blade Force to me is the funniest game for this system because it is like people are always like 3DO sucks at 3D, and I'm like, here's Blade Force, and they go, oh, and then they forget about it immediately. But then they think about it, and then it's a weird game that kind of lives in the 3DO sphere.
And I think about it a lot more than I should.
Yeah,
I do.
It's good. It's honestly one of the first long boxes I got for this.
Honestly, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's better than this game, that's for sure. But Phoenix 3 is not like, but it's not like a complete failure or a flop. You know, it's just a game that I like what they're trying to do here, and there are bits of it that I think work like well, but it's just not a complete all around package to justify its existence, I guess.
Like comparing it to the other platformers on the system, like I'd play this over Johnny Bazooka Tone.
Yeah, but it's not better than Soccer Kid.
No, Soccer Kid is just a more interesting game overall. Like that's a game we got to revisit because I think we were too harsh on our initial review.
Yeah, I'd be down to do a revisit on that game for sure.
I mean, it's no Gex, but Gex is kind of like the pinnacle of platformers on this console.
Exactly.
Yeah. Reviews. So there's obviously no Wikipedia page, but I did find a few reviews on Moby Games.
What do they say?
So it's kind of a varied thing. Like 3DO Magazine gave it an 80%, Gameland an 80%. The worst review was Game Zero gave it 42. The Video Game Critic gave it 50. Game Pro gave it like 60. It kind of hovers around that, like you had said, like that D range where it's like, you passed, but barely.
Yeah, like its Moby score is a 6.3. Its player rating is a 3.4. Whatever that means. Because it shows like the critic reviews, but like there's no like review, like actual people saying things about it.
Well, if you click on the reviews on Moby Games, it does actually give you a little blurb.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. And actually going to Phoenix 3's review or its little page on Backlogged, it only has one review, and that's from me. It does have ratings. I'll say one person gave it a 3.5. One person gave it a 2.5. Another person gave it a 1.5, and another gave it a 0.5 star. Which do you think I gave it? You got a 1 in 4 chance.
Could you say the stars again? My brain kind of glazed over.
We had a half a star, 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5.
Did you give it the 2.5?
You are dead right.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty on par for this game. It's very in the middle.
Yeah, I wrote has all the building blocks to make a decent game, but it can't cross into that hidden gem territory. And the FMV is corny but not charming. Sad. Because we barely even talked about the FMV, but there's really not much to say.
No, like it's
just a big beefy guy being like, I gotta do stuff, and everyone's like, okay. And then there's clips of him like it's almost like Demolition Man, where the FMV is just the one guy walking around going, holding his gun, like, I gotta do stuff, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, in terms of
but
like the games,
but it doesn't have the charm of Stallone.
No, because I was gonna say, like, looking at other 3DO games we've played with FMV, like, obviously it ain't touching American Laser. That they're in their own category.
They will never be touched.
Like, and when I think of like, if we're gonna talk like probably like, not counting American Laser, they're their own thing. Out of all the FMV games we've played so far, I still think the pinnacle is probably the Dallas Encounter.
Yeah.
Just in terms of that was a surprisingly amazing game, like really good game. Like I was shocked at how good that was.
Yeah, like it's the one that really understood the assignment.
Yeah. But even this game doesn't have like, say, like the benefit of being batshit insane like Siberia was.
That's true.
Like Siberia is a bad game that's amazing for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. And I think if it didn't have, like, it's fine if it didn't have all of the crazy dumb shit that some of these other FMV games had, if it was like the most competent game of the bunch. You know what I mean? Like if it was the one that was the best, like as far as like a game was concerned, like I could forgive all of that. Like, you know, doesn't have the charming, silly stuff because it's a fun game to play. But this one, unfortunately, does not do that.
Yeah, it's competent, but it's just not memorable in the slightest. Like,
yeah,
the highlight of the game is the space shooting segments, and even those are so kind of, depending on your difficulty, like they're either too easy and short, or they're just kind of they exist, but they are pretty.
Yeah. I wish there was more of that. More space shooting, less platforming, and I think it would be fairly solid.
Yeah, because arguably, it's some of the best space shooting I think we've played on the 3DO.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah.
Because I'm like thinking like, better than Starblade, just because it was controllable. I don't remember much about Shockwave. Because we didn't.
Shockwave was fine.
Shockwave kind of existed.
Yeah, Shockwave is almost like what Phoenix should be, and that it's not memorable, but you play it and you're like, yeah, this is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it at all.
And it's definitely not Wing Commander, but Wing Commander is its own.
Oh, Wing Commander's incredible.
Well, yeah, Wing Commander also has like everything else aside from the space shooting that makes it amazing.
Exactly.
So must play okay, stay away. I don't want to say stay away, but at the same time, it's not that great.
You could say stay away if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna
say it with some gusto.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like this. I don't like to use stay away unless it's truly a stay away for me. But I think on this one, like, it's just not worth really playing. Like, I'd probably say, I'd probably say stay away. It's not even really worth it.
For me, I'm gonna say okay.
Okay.
I think it's, if it's like you play it for like an hour and you're like, all right, I get the idea, and then you move on with your life, and I think that's okay.
Okay, that's fair.
I feel like whenever we update our tier lists, when I look at this game compared to some of the others we've played, I'm gonna go, oh, well, it was way better than like those shit heaps, right? Like it'll probably be higher up than maybe it should be, because it's like, well, at least it ain't that fucking awful thing, you know?
Yeah, because it's kind of like our tier list is really funny because it's for the most part pretty accurate. I mean, there's fucking the only real thing in our tier list that's kind of like funny when you see it is that Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is borderline an S tier.
I mean, they hate us because we speak the truth. Okay.
That game is so bad it becomes good. Like that is the
and maybe like Captain Quasar being fairly low as well is probably a surprising one because that's kind of a well-known game for the 3DO.
Quasar is just
it was disappointing. I was hoping it would have been awesome, but it just didn't hit.
See, that's the difference. Like that game, we went into it with high expectations and it was just bad. This game, I had really no expectations, and I was very much kind of like my expectations were not shattered, but they were also not exceeded. They were just kind of like, oh, that's a game.
I expect nothing, and I'm still disappointed.
I was expecting super jank, and I was expecting the FMV to be more interesting. In this case, I got not super jank, but boring FMV, and I was kind of like, oh, it's better. It's both better and disappointing at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
But so Phoenix 3.
Will they ever make Phoenix 1 and 2? Stay tuned.
No.
Yeah, you don't have to stay tuned for that. No, you can move on.
It took me just now to get the whole Phoenix 3 Trials and Tribulations thing.
Oh.
I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense for this game. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. A reference to a game I've never played.
Reference to my favorite game in that series. Interesting.
I mean, I saw the cover and there was like a dude with like a Cyclops mask on. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Say a word because that game is a masterpiece.
One day I will know.
But so next week we are actually going to be taking the week off for the holidays. So yes,
I will be busy.
Yeah, and I need a break.
You've earned that break, pal.
Yeah, but we will be back the following week. We're going to do another end of the year chaos show, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, we'll just vibe out for the new year.
Yeah, and then we'll return to our normal scheduled content after that.
Yep. We'll think of something to play. Who knows?
Yeah,
but I'm gonna spend the rest of the year playing Yakuza 0.
Yeah,
I look forward to that.
I'm going to do something. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll play an RPG or something that I haven't.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you show like these stacks of them you have, and I'm like, have you played any of these? And you're like,
I've played them all. Beaten is a different story.
But when you say play, what does that mean? Like,
you played enough to make sure the game works.
So like 10 minutes?
Yeah, enough.
Okay. Because that one you showed, I think it's like Oakage Shadow King. I had no idea that was an RPG. That always just looked like some action thing.
So that game's funny because that game has a really similar cover to like Hurdy Gurdy, and they kind of get mixed up every now and then. But
Hurdy Gurdy is a classic.
That is a very interesting game. I don't have a copy of it. I could probably find one at some point.
Oh, I've seen it so much. I've considered buying it, even though I don't have a PS2, because one of my old coworkers, we used to talk about games all the time, and he said like when he had his PS2, he didn't have that many games, but the one he remembered the most is Hurdy Gurdy. And he told me about Hurdy Gurdy and all this other shit, and I'm like, this game sounds fucking wacky. I gotta play it. And then I downloaded on an emulator and played it for a bit, and I was like, oh boy. There was another game he told me about. It was like a PS1 game where it's like it has like monkey in the title. I don't remember. Hold on. Was it Monkey Magic? I think it was Monkey Magic. That sounds right.
Monkey Magic.
I think so. That was like another weird game he had.
Monkey Magic PS1. Oh, Sunsoft.
Yeah.
2D side-scrolling platformer.
That sounds right in my head. You know, the thing is, even though I don't talk to him that much, if I texted him and asked him like, "Hey, what's that weird PS1 game you used to talk about the monkey thing?" He'd probably get back to me fairly quickly. He's like, "Oh yeah, it was that one."
Based off an anime series of the same name, based off of Journey of the West.
Why not?
Interesting. I'm gonna make a note of this game and I'll
check
it out later.
And he said why he got hurdy-gurdy was because his aunt gave it to him and she didn't know anything about games. She just saw the cover and thought, "Oh, he'd like that." And it's like, of all the PS2 games to pick, of all of them.
I mean, you got the good core design PS2 game.
Well, honestly, I think all of us have like that one weird PS2 game we played that nobody knows what the fuck you're going to talk about when you bring it up. You know what I mean? Because that well is so deep, you know?
Yeah.
Like I could say, like, did you ever play My Street? You'd probably be like, what the fuck is that?
I know My Street because I saw the ads for that game ever, but I've never played it.
I rented it once and it was so crazy. I spent a lot of time going like, what was that one random ass PS2 game I rented? And then I kept thinking about it in my head and was like typing it into like Google to try to find something. But then one day I just stumbled upon the cover of it and I was like, that's the game. That is it. I haven't played it again yet. I've been wanting to because I'm like, I just want to, because I looked at screenshots and I'm like, yeah, that is the game. Like that is what is in my brain. But I need to sit down. I need to play it. And I'm like, is it actually any good? Or was I just a dumb kid? And I was like, this is because as a kid, I didn't think it was that good either. But I don't know if it was just, I couldn't handle it, man.
See, for me, I think my dumb PS2 game I played the shit out of was like Thrillville.
Well, Thrillville, people know about Thrillville though.
People do, but it's like the frontier game that like kind of gets forgotten.
Like I remember in that era, Thrillville was like a big thing, right? It might be like it's Thrillville is definitely like a game that has a whole series of YouTube videos going. Do you remember this thing? You know, it's one of those games where it's like it's a nostalgia game for YouTube, but if you were there then, it's like, oh yeah, I remember this game. Like I knew tons of people who played Thrillville and people who didn't even normally play those kind of games play Thrillville. You know, maybe it's more popular than, or maybe it's not as popular as I thought it was.
Actually, I think the better answer for that is Mercury Meltdown. I played the hell out of Mercury Meltdown.
That's probably a better choice. I know Mercury Meltdown. That's an awesome game. But I remember that as a Wii game, though I'm not surprised as a PS2 version.
Well, that's a funny one because it was technically originally a PSP game, got ported to PS2, and then got ported again to Wii. And each version looks slightly better.
Yeah.
Like it's just a weird
honestly,
thing.
It's a game I'm shocked it isn't like on Steam.
Yeah. Or even it's like original like predecessor game, the Archer McLean's Mercury game.
See, that I don't know.
It's the same thing.
I didn't know it was a series of games.
That original one was made by Archer McLean. It was basically the same thing. And then it was published by Ignition. And then Ignition was like, this is a good idea. We're just going to make our own. And they did.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That game needs a modern port. I buy and play this again.
And I own all fucking 3 versions of that stupid game.
But anyways, we need to end this, otherwise we're just going to keep talking forever.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us. Thrak Ops Modern Warfare 2 just came out, number 8.
Yes, it is out. I'm just about done with Thrak Ops 9, which will be on Black Ops. That again, I want that to be out on the 29th. So, and I'm maybe a teeny bit behind schedule, but not enough. So I think we'll be okay. So probably by the time y'all are listening to this, I'm recording that episode.
Nice.
So I think we'll be okay. And that'll be the last one for the year.
Nice. Yeah. So other than that though, guys, happy holidays. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, whatever you guys celebrate.
Well, it's Hanukkah right now. It's the second day.
Nice. Happy Hanukkah to everybody who celebrates. And yeah, we will see you guys for New Year's for our final episode of the year.
Yes. Enjoy your holidays, everybody.
But anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
Bye.
If you're not playing on a 3DO system, what are you playing with?